Pick up for Edward?
Hey Ed, how are you? Thank you for doing this. Welcome to the ride.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
I see you brought beverages.
Look, I got your favourite actually. I got you a grape because I heard
nice.
You love that.
Thank you very much.
And I'm going to have a pineapple.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, man.
Posca Hydrate is a 2,000-year-old Roman ancient recipe for a beverage. How did you decide now's the right time to bring this to the market?
Well, look, I'd like to say it was all me, but it was actually my co-founder, Merrick Watts. He discovered this recipe online, ancient beverage, and he started making it home. His wife doesn't want any sugar, the kids want all natural, all these things he started putting together. So he just pieced this beverage into this, beautiful elixir. And, sort of fast forward to now is, why did we launch it? And we can see strong trends towards hydration, gut health to zero sugar. And Posca Hydrate really comes to all of those components, which is absolutely fantastic. And I spent sort of, nearly a decade in the beverage industry. And one of the most interesting parts of all of this is we have so many people in innovation and preparing for, the next trend and beverages and all this kind of stuff. Merrick just made something in his kitchen that he thought would work for his family. Yeah. And that was the coolest thing about it.
You're still in that scrappy startup stage, a lot of testing. How do you decide where your brand shows up and the moments that you want to be in?
Yeah, look, we are, so from our side at Posca Hydrate, we're a year and a half in now. We are very much still a startup. We're a very small company and we're going up against the big guys, like the really big guys. So for us to look at, when to show up into that consumer world, we have to know where we're going to get the most relevance. If we look at our launch strategy, we needed to be relevant very quickly and we needed to be connected to the story of Posca Hydrate. It just so happened that Gladiator II premiere was on in Sydney. Merrick, because he's famous, somehow got a ticket and then he somehow turned up in a full Gladiator outfit with Posca written across the front. Now, I've got to say, literally before that minute, no one had heard of Posca. Yeah. So we'd signed tons of NDAs with people. We'd made it so quiet. So when Merrick got onto the red carpet, the security guards had no idea that he was actually repping a brand. So he gets on that red carpet and the engagement he earned and all that kind of stuff was like well above our expectations. But it synced because, we're a Roman drink. Yep. It got Merrick, it got the strategy, it had all the connective factors and it, made a really great splash for us with just the cost of the outfit.
Yeah. You're also showing up in really interesting places, like some interesting partnerships and sponsorships in moments that are maybe less cluttered by some of the bigger, more established players.
For us, we've been looking for key partnerships that isn't just logo slapping. So when we talk to a lot of commercial partners potentially, they'll be like, just send us your logo kit. And I'm like, we're not going to be making content. We're not going to be stuffed together. We're not truly in partnership with this structure, which makes it, for us, a walk away. But it also means that if we're going to commit to a partnership, we've got to show up as well. So we've got to be there. We've got to be making content. We've got to have the team there. We've got to dedicate our time to that partnership. And the most recent one is Wheelchair Rugby Australia. Okay. So we are the proud sponsors of the Steelers, arguably Australia's most successful national team. Saw them down in Adelaide a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely phenomenal group. And, when Chris, the CEO of Wheelchair Rugby, approached us, it was just an absolute no-brainer. We got a mixed gender sport. It's connected, they call it murder ball. It's almost like chariot racing of the Roman time. It's incredibly interesting to watch. And outside of that, every player, every athlete in wheelchair rugby all have their backstories that are just so interesting and so engaging. And for us, being able to support the sport has been massive.
You've had an awesome career working with some really big players, some new and emerging ones. Is there an example of a moment that you just felt like you nailed it? Right place, right time, strategy was there?
The greatest part about this as a concept is that hindsight is 20/20 perfect vision, right? So, I'm sure any time I've been very successful in my career, I'm pretty sure at the time I didn't think I was going to be, right? There's always a risk to the reward. There's a moment in this where You come back and you go, how do I make this replicatable? I'm a systems thinker. That's how my brain works, right? I'm trying to figure out how to replicate those experiences, because anyone can get lucky, but you can't get lucky twice. How do you structure the business so you're culturally connected, you're fast moving, you know when trends are there, but you've also empowered the team so they can jump on stuff and get it done in the moment. So it's actually connected to your strategy, and it's not just a tactical luck moment. Yeah, I think, look, we've all been lucky on the right times with their cultural moments, but I think it's pushing to a structure that is replicatable. And that's the real challenge I think marketers face today, particularly with how quickly social and AI, digital and everything else is happening, to be ready.
Mate, thank you so much for joining me on the ride today and for bringing beverages. Wishing you all the best. I'm excited to see what you do from here.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Cheers.